Hi everyone, this is Victor, and today we are here to speak about the upcoming new moon in the sign of Taurus. So, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new, then I've been doing astrology for 21 years. This is my passion, and I'm here to shed some light onto the upcoming energies for you so that basically you can prepare and live your life according to the best self of yourself. Just a little bit of an announcement. I am going to be making a Pluto in Aquarius free of charge webinar on the 15th of May at 2 p.m. Bulgaria Sofia time. So if you are interested in this webinar, just make sure you set a reminder on my YouTube channel and you will be able to participate. We want to be discovering the energies of this upcoming Pluto in Aquarius archetype. So, but let's talk about the new moon. It is an important one, and as this is the marker of the eclipse coming up at the end of the month. So we are starting our eclipse season, which I have already made a video about the lunar eclipse coming up on the 26th, 27th of May. And I feel like this new moon is a very supporting one. So we have got the support to be clear about what we want to be, what we want to build. New moon is always about a cosmic marriage between the feminine and the masculine, the yin and the yang energies. So it does talk about new opportunities when we are kind of joining the forces. So Taurus, it's going to be taking place on the 11th of May. On 21 degree, around 17 minutes, 21 degrees, 17 minutes. And Taurus is all about tangible. It's like a builder type of energy. So it talks about your long-term goals, but you need to be very clear about what you want to achieve. Taurus talks about your principles, your values. So what do you value the most? What matters to you the most? And you can actually start building on those values, and eventually we can even make money out of it. As I said, this new moon is a very supported one because it only really receives good aspects. One of the aspects it receives is a trine to Pluto. Now, with Pluto, it's something which is transformative. It does talk about breaking old patterns and kind of creating new ones. But this Pluto gives us the power to change something in our life. Now, this Pluto is definitely an important one because we had recently a Scorpio full moon. And the Scorpio full moon is ruled by Mars and Pluto as well at the same time. And around that Scorpio full moon, Pluto has gone retrograde also, which means that we just need to internalize some of our feelings and we need to reveal something about ourselves. But this Pluto definitely gives us the opportunity or the power to change something in our life, something we might have been wanting for a long time. It might be a desire, a passion, and now it really gives the energy to start building that for you. So even though, you know, this full moon and the new moon, what is taking place at the moment, it really happened on my third and the ninth house axis. But the ruler of my third and the ruler of my ninth both are placed in the first house. And no wonder why I started doing gym, for instance, because I want to be transforming finally, you know, or hopefully I'm going to be able to put this to an end or in a bed, and I'm going to be able to lose weight, and I'm going to be able to maintain that. So, and that has been a very long desire for myself, and I'm kind of passionate about it. So, I'm going to be going 5 times instead of 3 times. So, really look at where also the ruler of this new moon, which is, by the way, Venus this time around, in your natal chart. And that house position can also show you an area of transformation. And this trine between the new moon and Pluto is actually an applying one. Applying means that something is going to be happening in the future. So the sun will be there within 5 days after the new moon. So you might start something around the 11th, and you can even see some initial results around the 16th, 17th of May. So I'm quite excited about this. And I would like to also mention that this new moon is actually in the third decan. Now, I've never spoken about decans before, but basically decan is we've got 3 10-degree, a sign is broken into 3 10-degree segments. And the first 10 degree is always the purest energy of the sign. So in this case, the new moon happens in the sign of Taurus. The first 10 degree is very Taurian. And then the next 10 degree is always going to be the following earth sign, which is in this case Virgo. Now, as I said, this new moon is taking place on 21 degrees, so that falls into a Capricornian territory, which leads us to talk about the Pluto retrograde and, of course, the Saturnian placement as well. But I'm going to come on to that. So, you know, Pluto in the sign of Capricorn, it kind of wants to break down something, and Pluto actually helps us to build something from scratch. So this is definitely kind of a building type of energy, what we see within this new moon. You know, I would say like, imagine in the world, it's like creating a new government. This is what this new moon with the Plutonian flavor kind of talks about. But on a personal level, with the Pluto trine, it does increase your emotional sensitivity and your psychic perception as well, especially towards nature or towards businesses, for instance. You might feel things more powerfully. So your senses can be a lot more heightened. Taurus rules your 5 senses. And with that Pluto, anything you touch, it might somehow talk to you or it reminds you of something. It also can indicate that you might be having a very deep or strong influence by someone else in your life. And I'm going to talk to you about why someone else, but basically the ruler of the new moon is actually in Gemini, and which is talking about like a little pack. So I would also say that there is an element of a subconscious communication, which is also very, very possible. And of course, our sexual nature can be quite emphasized here as well. Because as I said, Taurus is all about the pleasure, the harmonious type of things, something which I enjoy doing, very much the earth things. So it's all about, you know, having a massage, having a lovely time, cooking a great meal, and so forth. And also the sun and moon conjunction has got a beautiful, almost exact sextile to Neptune. Now, you know, with Neptune, we might not know all the details, how we are going to be playing things out, but there is a divine help. It's like a divine timing. And with that Neptune, or actually with all the collective planets, Pluto, Neptune, especially, and plus Uranus, we're going to have to somehow focus on the bigger picture. So that Neptune is giving us an element of a healing opportunity. Of course, it can cause some type of haziness as well. So I don't really know which road to go on. I feel the urge to go on one of them at the crossroad, and we might get a little bit scared of making a decision. But because Neptune is making that sextile, it very much talks about to listen to your gut feelings, to your intuition. Because during this period of time, your level of sensitivity and emotions can be very heightened. You can really get in touch with your feelings, but you can also feel others as well. Both Pluto and Neptune somehow talks about that. We might be very sensitive in our environment or in our nature. So when we go to the park or something like that, we just feel others, negative and positive energies also. You can even have an increased kind of an intuition and psychic abilities with that type of things. So you might know from your gut something is right or wrong. So this time around, just don't really listen to the Taurian energy, who, you know, it's all about not necessarily facts, but it only believes once I hold it. So this time around, it might be asking you to get in touch with your inner feelings as well. So as I said, this new moon is ruled by Venus, and Venus is in the sign of Gemini. Now, I've made a separate video about that. So I recommend checking that out on my channel. I don't want to keep you too long by explaining what Venus means in Gemini in this video, but it is all about an increased desire to socialize. So I feel like the parks are going to be full of people. Actually, everyone is going to go out with their doggies and pets and so forth. And people just want to be reconnecting with something to do with the soil and the earth element as well. But this Venus is also, I feel like it's quite nice at the moment because it has got some strength by term position on one hand. And secondly, I would say that this Venus enjoys talking about things what this new moon wants to build, meaning that it is ready to kind of collect some information what they need, and they might be walking around a certain topic to make the best possible choice. Venus does talk about making decisions or choice making as well. And of course, this Venus is ruled by Mercury, which went out of bound recently, to be precise, on the 7th of May. And when a planet goes out of bound, well, it is like having a conjunction to Uranus. So this Mercury is a little bit wild, and it says what it wants to say. It has got a little bit of a sharp tongue as well. And it's very much talking about freedom. So freedom gaining is definitely going to be a very, very significant thing, what we might be receiving news from in the next 6 weeks. So travel restrictions, maybe immigration, passport related matters, all those we might be getting some information in the near future. So Mercury at the moment is in conjunction to North Node, around 12 degrees of Gemini. And don't forget that at the end of March, Mars was also having a conjunction to North Node as well. So somehow every single planet kind of started following the energy trail of that Mars. Mars was one of the first ones actually triggering the North Node. And then now we have Mercury, Venus will join shortly, and then of course followed by the Sun as well in a couple of weeks' time. So something around the Gemini topics are extremely heightened. So short distance travels, local communities, socializing, the youth, education, these topics are very heightened also with this new moon. Now, I also believe that there is an element of a healing involved here, because that Mercury and North Node are having a sextile to Chiron. And with Chiron, there is always some of our wounds, deep wounds, are getting healed. And with that Mercury, it might be, I wouldn't even say that Mercury this time around is all about communication and stuff like that. Not really, because that's the ruler of the North Node. And North Node is kind of a path we are heading towards to. So that sextile is very much about some of the healing matters and what direction our life is taking. So in a sense, I would say that it's definitely about making a decision, making a great choice about our future and how we want to be building our future. I feel like plenty of you might be taking a new direction or a new path, even in the society and on a personal level as well. Information will be coming in like a lightning bolt because, of course, that Mercury is out of bound. And as I said, out of bound energies have got a Uranian flavor to it. And then following this energy trail, Mercury has got a beautiful trine to Saturn. So, and Saturn is in the sign of Aquarius. So that does again tell me that it's a worldly type of energy. The collective energy is getting positively affected. But on a personal level, it is very good to focus on something, to study, to catch up on things which you haven't done for a while. Maybe you've neglected your paperwork or you forgot to pay your bills. There is definitely a very a little bit monotone, maybe sometimes boring as well, but there is some mental work to be done. But it's great because you can really focus on what really matters, and you most likely won't be making any type of mistakes either. So I'm kind of excited about this energy. You know, when we talk about overall this new moon, it is kind of a reminder to sort something out within your inner body. So it might be just walking in the nature or doing some type of yoga. Think about the simple joys of life. It might be just the fact that I'm sitting in the cafe and drinking a hot cup of coffee, right? Interesting that I said that because today I was walking with the doggies, and on the way back, I saw people sitting in a garden near my. I mean, in a like it's a garden, a beer garden type of things. And I really fancied to kind of join, sit down and have a beer and, you know, and then just enjoy and then looking around, looking at the nature and maybe playing with the dogs as well. And that's what I have been doing in the park. I sit down in, you know, on the bench, I read, I listen to music, and then I just watch what the doggies are doing. This new moon is brilliant for these minor things, but actually it's really boosting your energy level overall. This new moon also tells you that it's a brilliant time to get into your physical world. So whatever you find the most pleasurable, it's not about rushing around. You've done that. You know, it's more about just smelling the roses, so to speak. This is a brilliant time also to start some new financial ventures because Taurus does rule over anything tangible, which is also money, because we can buy something with our money. And don't forget that Venus is in the sign of Gemini. So that talks about business transactions. So it might be telling me that some part of the world, certain shops will be opening up. Some of the businesses are going to get back into basically business. And most probably with all these trines, they are going to get hammered and they will be very busy. But yeah, and I also feel like that this trine is also very beneficial when it comes to romantic commitments over the next, few months. As well as over your career and finances as well. So overall, this is probably one of those new moons where I can kind of only share great stuff. Now, because Mercury being so prominent in this new moon, because the dispositor of Venus and it's conjunct in the North Node, definitely we are taking a new direction. But because this Mercury is out of bounds, so these things are going to be happening very fast. but at the same time, it could lead to some of the catastrophes as well. So, you know, in the world, unfortunately, there could be significant accidents or natural catastrophes as well with that. Just think about, you know, when Mars was out of bounds recently. I mean, it was out of bounds for a while, actually. And I've made a couple of posts on my Facebook on that, what was going on in the world. There were massive eruptions and so forth. Now, Mercury is typically not that, but Mercury is more about the traffic and internet. So the internet can be clashing or crashing. You know, some of the transactions can go wrong and so forth. So you definitely need to be paying attention to that also. And very lastly, this this new moon is also having a separating square from Saturn. And which means separating aspects always talk about that something happened in the past. So with that Chiron flavor, what I was talking about, it looks like we've got an element of possibility to heal some of our past actions as well. Yeah, so this is a brilliant new moon. I hope you have enjoyed. There is so much more to say about this new moon, but these are the key features of that. So make sure if you like the video, press like, share the video with others as well, let them benefit from my teachings, and don't forget to sign up for the Pluto in Aquarius free webinar. See you everyone, and have a blessed new moon. Bye-bye.